In Nicaragua, in 2023 ended with more than a dozen Catholic clergy in jail. The most recent arrest took place on New Year's Eve. A new report says that as of 2024 begins, the Ortega regime has in custody 2 bishops, 15 priests, and 2 seminarians. The most notable is Bishop Rolando Alvarez. He was sentenced to 26 years in prison and is accused of, quote, being a traitor to the homeland. The lawmakers in the U.S. are demanding answers, including Catholic Congressman Chris Smith, chair of the Human Rights Committee. He spoke with Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales and says what President Ortega is doing is outrageous.
To arrest another bishop and at least 12 more priests is outrageous. And the bishop was asking for prayers for Bishop Alvarez, and he needs our prayers. He's a very strong, faith-filled leader. He's amazing. I think he's a saint.
Congressman Smith wants the Biden administration to hand down tougher sanctions against Ortega until Bishop Alvarez and others are released. The Vatican is also following the situation. Pope Francis...
Con preoccupazione quanto sta avvenendo in Nicaragua.
Pope Francis addressed the situation in his New Year's Day address to pilgrims at the Vatican. He says that he is closely following the events and asked the faithful to join him in prayer. And joining us now to discuss is Jason Poblete, founder and president of the Global Liberty Alliance. Jason, great to be with you again. So why do you think we continue to see this purging of the clergy by the Ortega regime? I mean, it seems it just isn't going to stop.
Tracy, thanks for having us, and thank you for focusing again on this issue. Sunshine is very important in religious freedom cases. I mean, in Nicaragua, as we talked about before, it's a long-term project. They want to purge the church out of Nicaragua. And let's not forget, Nicaragua is a police state. There is no rule of law. And there's very few organizations, institutions within Nicaragua that can challenge that government. There's only 2. Is the Catholic Church and, of course, the private sector and civil society. And since 2018 and a little before then, the Ortega regime has been systematically expelling opponents. And the Catholic Church, of course, has come under a special targeting, as it usually does. These men, brave men and lay people, should not be locked up. And we need to take, I think, a more clear position about what it is we want and not want. And right now, unfortunately, the U.S. government and some other stakeholders have not been clear about that. I mean, Nicaragua, keep in mind, is also at the heart of some other issues like human trafficking. They are facilitating trafficking to the U.S. border. They are encouraging people to break the law and come to this country. So I think the Holy See, the U.S. government can work constructively together, but we have to be a lot clearer about this and step in and protect these men. These men want to be in churches. These men want to be taking care of their flock. I know some of them. I'm not going to say any of them by name because I don't want to bring them any more trouble than they are already in. But we have to get a little more focused. Sanctions are part of that, as Congressman Chris Smith just said. But we need a lot more than that. Sanctions without a policy are just tools, and tools that are not wielded correctly can cause a lot more harm than good. So I think we have to get a little more focused. And I do think we can get these men out, but we have to be a little more focused on how it is we deploy all resources of U.S. power.
Yeah, and Jason, how do you think we can do that, more effectively from a public policy standpoint?
I think you have to start doing what we're doing here, which is talking about it, raising awareness, and also keeping in mind that Ortega has all the cards right now. He can continue doing this with impunity, and he won't stop unless we force him to stop. And unfortunately, I think we're having this interesting game with him. He just reconstituted his Ministry of Interior. He kind of reached back to the Cold War, brought back this secret police with the help of Cuba. There are reports that he's putting together a religion police. There are things that are clear signs. I mean, this week, they just broke ground on a new free trade agreement with China. If we were to focus on U.S. interest, getting China and Russia out of there, targeting, pressuring Cuba to stop helping Nicaragua, there's a lot of things that we can get done there. I don't want the bad guys to know what it is that the U.S. government should or shouldn't do, but I do think we need to start focusing, one, speaking a lot more clearly and forcefully and not wavering. These men are being targeted. Some will die if we don't jump in and do something, but also start focusing our policy in the region. You can't negotiate with terrorists. In my mind, this is a terrorist regime. The designation of Nicaragua as a terrorist regime should be on the table. That review should happen. It should have happened years ago, but we haven't done it. Cuba's already on the list. Venezuela's not on it. I think we should consider looking at that as well. But we have to have a comprehensive policy, and we shouldn't allow the church to be exposed this way. And that's the part that's frustrating about this. We saw during the Cold War with Ronald Reagan and Pope John Paul, in much more difficult circumstances. There was a war down there at the time, a hot war with people dying in Nicaragua. Get together and work together to fix things. I'm not saying we can duplicate that. I am saying, though, between the U.S. and the Vatican in a highly Catholic country, there's a lot more we can be doing. And it's a shame that I think about 3 now of the 9 bishops are locked up, and one of them's in Miami. So that all of this needs to change. It needs to change quickly, and I think we can do this. We can turn it around. We've studied this issue for a long time, Tracy, as you know. Now it's time to get to work, get these people out, and make sure there's some red lines in place. And that includes visa restrictions, sanctions, and the private sector needs to do their part. They are still a powerful force in Nicaragua, and rather than feathering their bed with the regime, what they should be doing is helping these fellow priests get out of these places, because they have the ability to influence that process to help get these men out of these prisons.
Well, Jason, so much more we can talk about. Thank you for staying on this. We're going to stay on this as well, and God bless you for all that you do.
God bless you, Tracy. Take care.